That's what I love about tennis. As an individual sport, you can't hide behind teammates. This was a quote by successful tennis player Caroline Wozniacki. Sports are everywhere in American culture. Children grow up with sports, they follow them through their childhood into elementary school, and then into the teenage years of high school. The more popular sports in the US are team sports, like the football, basketball, and they're everywhere. Babies wear onesies as soon as they're born from their parents' favorite football team, and teenagers and adults watch sports like the MLB, NHL, NBA, and college sports. I've personally been playing an individual sport for a long time now, and I've really enjoyed it. And I'm here today to talk about about individual sports, and I want to get the attention that they deserve. So, I've been playing tennis since I was 4 years old, and over the years of playing tennis, I've learned many different experiences regarding sports and life in general. And I personally think that sports and life in general have a lot in common that many people don't realize. Like, for example, you have to follow certain rules. You get along with some people, you don't get along with some, and you also have to control yourself. Controlling yourself is one of the most important facts or more important aspects of sports, whereas is also really important in society to just behave and be polite and stuff like that. And so as playing an individual sport, I realized that I also wanted to play soccer as a child, but I couldn't because my mom didn't let me play soccer. But as an individual sport, I realized that there's a lot of differences between team sport and individual sports. First of all, team sports and individual sports, well, the team sports are played with a team, while individual sports are played alone. And the outcome of a team sporting match is dependent on many variables. For example, this is shown by 5-time Ballon d'Or winner Lionel Messi, who is one of the best of all-time soccer players individually, but his achievements with his club team Barcelona are far greater than the ones with his national team being Argentina. And this shows that even though he's one of the best of all time, he still needs a supporting cast and a supporting team to be able to win championships, and he can't do that by himself. As for tennis, you're the only one on the court. Everything relies on your actions and on what you do. The sports are mostly in two aspects, physical and mental. And for the mental aspect, tennis is much different from team sports. When you play basketball and you don't play well, you don't shoot well, you kind of start to get angry, you say something to the ref, you get benched. But then the team is still able to continue on without you, and they're maybe going to still be able to win the game. But in tennis, if you get mad or get angry, you're the only one on the court, and there's no coaching, no timeouts. You have to keep playing, and you have to fight against yourself to be able to overcome the pressure and everything that is going on at the moment to be able to win the match at the end. Physically, the two sports need a lot of hard work, dedication, and at the pro level, they're very athletically, you need a lot of strength or athleticism to be able to perform them at the best level. But the difference between the physical aspect is that while playing team sports, it can very easily go into a routine, like playing basketball. You go on the court, you play for 48 minutes, and then you get off the court. While for tennis, the matches can vary between a big range of time. For example, I think that on average, probably my tennis matches are about an hour and a half, but it depends between the levels. 11 hours and 5 minutes is the length of the longest tennis match in history, which is between American John Isner and Nicolas Mahut, which ended in the score of 70-68, and they played over the course of 3 days. Now, this is a very exceptional match because it happens very rarely over the course of the tennis season. This shows that tennis can last for a very long time, but can also be very short. Steffi Graf managed to win the final of the French Open in 32 minutes, which is about half a class period. Mentality. When you play sports, you need a certain mentality. For example, when playing team sports, you need the collective mentality that you have to play with others to be able to achieve the goal. When playing tennis, it's more individual, and the one mentality that is really important is the will to keep on fighting. Rafael Nadal is one of the greatest tennis players to show this mentality because he doesn't stop playing until the last ball is hit out or has bounced twice. He always keeps on fighting, and he might be down 2 sets to nothing in the US Open, he will still keep on fighting and trying to win the match. I personally have also gone through experiences like that, not at his level obviously, but I still remember when I was 8 or 9, I was playing and I started to cry on the court because I just couldn't get over the fact that I was losing. But then I just thought to myself that if I just kept on crying and whimpering, that I wasn't going to be able to win the match and keep on going with my tennis career. So I just decided to get back in the match and just to restart, and I actually managed to win that match. And that one match has taught me that even though it might look like it's a bad situation, if you keep on fighting, and the results will finally show up. They will come. Whether it is whether it's playing basketball with your friends on campus or playing soccer in the backyard, sports are everywhere in the American culture. You can see sports as soon as kids are born. At 4 or 5 years old, playing in recreational parks and activities for the hometown, and later in years competing at a more higher level, and then into the university level, where people also try to get scholarships. The sports between the sporting culture in America is very significant and very not unusual, but unique compared to the rest of the world. For example, school teams are a big entertainment industry, especially in the U.S. There's high school teams, college teams, while in Europe or other parts of the world, it's all extracurricular activities where people have to play sports outside of school, and that is one of the key facts that American culture is very heavily dictated by sports. The U.S. infrastructure is also one of the most defying of the world. The facilities that U.S. academies have provide all the necessities that the players need, and those are rarely seen in Europe, for example. And that is why the U.S. have so many good junior players and also other players later in the pro level. Many U.S. players or athletes are seen as idols across the whole world, like Michael Phelps, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Those are all icons from the American sports that are seen in the entire world as great players. Sports are heavily dominant in this world, and I think that they should remain as dominant as they are, because they provide kids the opportunity to grow up, and they give life more entertainment, and sports are used to kind of get away from the real life, which is work and going to school, and they just to use all the energy that we have. And I think that while I have been playing tennis for many years, I've learned many experiences, and I think that sports should remain as prevalent as they are now. And I know that team sports are always going to be more popular than individual sports, but I recommend to everyone to go and pick up a racket, because it will change your view of sports. Thank you.